It was a great pleasure to hear such great things yesterday and today in the morning. And unlike maybe lots of speakers who are giving a very broad, but from the other side, very good and very detailed picture, I would like to share a very specific example on how we think user behavior analysis and personalization may really look like. So a couple words about ourselves. I'm the president and CEO of Altexsoft, and we are a technology consulting company for travel and hospitality. And we have been in this business for a while, for 10 years, and last 7 of them we have been working for the travel industry. So my experience with travel and hospitality businesses has taught me that providing just regular services is not enough anymore. So the industry knows that personalization is the data-driven tailoring of websites and messages for each and every one of our customers. But we know so, and I wanna tell you this story about the specific numbers and on how the user behavior analysis actually changes the game and changes the behavior of the future customers. So, numbers tell the story. You can see here on the slide. And this is from the consumer side. However, according to McKinsey, the data-activated marketing based on personal real-time needs, interests, and behaviors can boost digital sales by 15 to 20%. And from the other side, for example, SITA in their recent research and IT Trends survey indicates that 68% of airlines already makes the priority to invest in personalization. So we see this like a movement. From one side, customers are ready to share more in order to get the personalized offers. From the other side, the businesses are ready to invest in personalization. This is more broad picture. What's next? We do have different tools that allow us to collect the metadata. However, unlike these tools, user behavior analysis is something that should be built on top of each solution. In other words, those of you who have their own websites or web apps most likely will not be able to use any ready solution, like Google Analytics or Kissmetrics. It will allow you to collect metadata, but it will not allow you to collect and track the behavior of the user. So, traditional lead scoring based on the predetermined rules versus predictive lead scoring based on the real-time behaviors. And unlike rule-based scoring, be it manual or automated, machine learning algorithms find patterns in that huge pile of data. This allows you to predict the value of the leads, who's customer material, who's not. So, concrete example, how does it work? Imagine Mike. Mike is searching for the hotel. So, Mike, for example, Googles, comes to your service. What's next? He set the dates, and now be careful. In the right side, you can see the conversion probability. How, by the way, we work with this conversion probability? So machine learning algorithms go to work to predict the probability of Mike's conversion. What do these algorithms actually do? So they compare Mike's behavior, what Mike's do now. They compare this to historical patterns of millions of users that you already have. In order to do that, definitely, you have to run those algorithms in a custom way on those data. But we do it in parallel. So what's next? At this point, the predicted conversion is already 0.03%. And the system assumes that Mike's dates are not flexible, so he chooses these dates. What happens next? The conversion goes up. What happens next? Sorry? Oh, this one, yeah. So what happens next? He chooses LA. So July 1st to July 8th. You may see at the right side that we started tracking his preferences. On top of metadata, we track the destination, we track the dates, we track how many people will be in the room, we track the type of the room that he want to have. What's next? He set the rooms, the conversion goes up, so it's 0.1% now. What's next is 0.5%. And the page shows the details of the property and updates Mike's interest based on this selection. So as soon as Mike's not just choose the hotel but see the details, we may think that he's more probable customer based on our historical data. What's next? His online journey continues. And unlike his previous search and his previous preference for 3-star hotel, he chooses now 4-star hotel and a Wi-Fi. So his conversion goes up. In parallel to that, we start tracking new preferences. So hotel for the 4 stars, for the 4 stars, and free Wi-Fi. What goes next? He set the rooms, the conversions goes up, and we most likely sure that he is a leisure travel. At least 30% probability comes up. Why? That's a good question. Actually, as he views the details of the different property, we may make an assumption that he is not very tight to the budget. And this mainly means that since he started from the more cheapest option, then moves to a more expensive option, he barely may be a leisure traveler. Then Mike decides to change the dates for his search. And that happens. So he changed the search, he changed the dates. Good. What happens next? The probability comes up, and we are more likely sure that he is a leisure traveler. 75% versus 30%. Why? Again, because if he would be a business traveler, most likely he will not be able to choose his dates in such a way. Maybe 1 or 2 days, but not the week. So, what happens next? He now chooses the destination. The destination. San Francisco. And we are even more sure that he is a leisure traveler because he just was searching for the LA, and now he's searching for San Francisco. So what's going next? Mike selects to see the rooms of the 5-star Fairmont San Francisco hotel. He has provided the system with the information that he is ready to consider higher quality and more expensive hotel, which would typically include a restaurant and parking spot. So on top of his usual preferences that we already got by that moment, we put there the preferences of facility. And by the way, conversion goes up as well. So we now have 1.3% probability that he will be converted as a customer. What's going through there? We see that conversion grows because he's now looking into the details of this hotel. And actually, so this is probably previous. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, guys. The question now is, we do have a customer who changed their preferences over time. Based on changing of his preferences, we were able to use the machine learning algorithms and to identify what are his preferences, what is the probability of conversion, what he wants, what he doesn't want, and what kind of traveler he is. In fact, we can track that much of attributes. And this is not just the full list. So this is what we are willing to track in our current implementation with a few of our clients. But we can definitely make this list much more wider. So just a few words to finish this. What personalization opportunity does user behavior analysis provide? Let's look at the big picture again. You first of all can now personalize the journey of your customer on each step. That is different to how we typically did this in the past. Because in the past, correct me if I'm wrong, in the past we most likely were focused on segmenting the customers. But we were not able to actually track each customer in person. Now we can do that. Couple of very interesting, so this is all about the result of this particular thing. So the advertising cost goes down, the ROI goes up, and for example, for this particular case, we noticed that customer engagement grew up for 2.5 times after we were able to reach out the customer back based on their preferences. The conversion rate for us, for our client actually, went up for about 20–25% depending on the, is it a hotel search, or car search, etc. So a couple of very practical usages, how can we do this? First of all, it's email personalization. So we increase customer engagement. We can send first, in the left part. We can send the personalized emails, either to follow up a specific search or conducted by the user, or we can provide different options for the different trips. For example, on the right side, you can see that we provide him the opportunity to see the similar searches in the places nearby. However, we can implement countless other personalization features. For example, it's a personalized offerings. I had a very interesting discussion with one of our colleagues yesterday here at the conference, and she told me that ideally for her will be good to engage back the customers to the website based on their past preferences automatically, so that they will not have need to actually do their preference, choose their preferences again and again. So as soon as they come back and say, okay, I want to go to LA, they want to provide this from the very early beginning. And this is what this system provides as well. So for example, Mike returns to the website once again and searches for the hotels in Los Angeles. And considering the previous interactions, we can see just 4- and 5-star hotels with parking, free Wi-Fi, and restaurants, like he had in the previous searches, regardless of the fact that he comes back, let's say, a couple weeks later. So maybe this is the final slide. You see the advices. I wouldn't just read them again. What is important? Few very interesting things from the practical usage. First of all, we have to start work with our existing data. Because most of these predictions, most of machine learning is a buzzword. And you probably have heard machine learning here more than any other word. And in fact, machine learning really works with your data, really works with practical data. So you have to, first of all, start working with your existing data and understanding how good they are and what kind of things can we get from them. Second thing, we have to collect user behavior data. So how user acts, and you have to do it in an online mode. You can't do that based on the BI, based on the historical things. It will not allow you, if you will continue doing this just coming back to what already happened, this will not allow your system to interact with the customer in an online. So conduct user behavior analysis, and we've shown this, how to do this. Apply machine learning and personalize, because it's not just about finding the consequences. It's not just about finding the preferences. It's all about making the actions based on the preferences. And there are lots of things how we can use it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.